Okay, let's dive in. If you're just feeling wiped out after meals, maybe lunch, or you've got that constant stomach grumbling or discomfort, you should really listen up. We're going straight to the useful stuff today on food intolerance testing. Think of it as a potential shortcut to feeling better. And we're thinking particularly about our listeners in Swinton and the greater Manchester area.
Yeah, absolutely. The goal here is really simple. It's about helping you figure out which specific foods might be giving your body a hard time. We're not talking about those serious, immediate allergies here. That's different.
Right, not the life-threatening stuff.
No, exactly. Yeah. This is about intolerances, those things that creep up on you, the bloating, maybe headaches, or just feeling really, really tired all the time. It's about understanding why your stomach might be struggling to process certain foods.
And just so you know where this info comes from, we've done a deep dive into materials from the experts over at Blood Test UK. They really specialize in this kind of private testing. So let's talk about why someone should even bother with this. If you feel like you're running on maybe 70% power most days, what's the actual payoff? What are the big advantages of finding out what's triggering you?
Well, the benefits really go beyond just, having less tummy ache. When you find and remove a food that bothers you, your whole digestive system gets a chance to calm down.
Okay.
And that means you absorb nutrients better. People often report just feeling way more energetic, like having a steady energy through the day, better sleep too, less brain fog. And another thing, knowing what you can and can't eat comfortably gives you a real confidence boost, especially when you're eating out or at social events. Takes the guesswork out.
That confidence part sounds huge. And speaking of specifics, you mentioned Blood Test UK shared some local data for Swinton.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. They highlighted that some of the most commonly reported intolerances there aren't just the usual suspects like gluten and dairy.
Oh.
They also see a lot of issues with apples and pears specifically.
Apples and pears. Huh. Why would that be? They seem so healthy.
It is fascinating, isn't it? It's likely down to certain complex sugars or maybe fibers in those fruits. Things like FODMAPs, perhaps. Basically, components that some people's guts find really hard to break down completely.
Okay, so they just sit there.
Sort of, yeah. If they aren't broken down properly higher up, they travel down and then they ferment in the large intestine. That fermentation produces gas, which leads to that bloating and discomfort. It's a good reminder that even healthy foods can cause problems for some people. That local data really brings it home.
Right, it's very individual. Okay, so how do people actually find these trigger foods? What are the main ways Blood Test UK mentions for testing?
Well, there are sort of three main routes. The first one, often guided by a doctor or maybe a nutritionist, is the elimination diet.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
It involves completely cutting out a food you suspect for a while, seeing if symptoms improve, and then carefully reintroducing it to see what happens. It definitely works, but it does take patience and time.
Okay, time consuming. What about quicker options? People often want a faster answer.
Yeah, the quick tests generally fall into two camps mentioned in the source material. One is the IgG antibody blood test.
IgG.
Yeah, IgG. It looks at a specific type of antibody response from your immune system to various foods. It's not testing for allergy like IgE tests do, but it suggests your immune system might be reacting in a delayed way, hinting at an intolerance.
Got it. And the other one?
The other common one is the hydrogen breath test. This one's often used specifically for things like lactose intolerance or problems digesting fructose, like maybe from those apples and pears we mentioned.
How does that work?
It measures the amount of hydrogen gas you breathe out after consuming a specific sugar. If your gut can't break down that sugar, bacteria ferment it and produce hydrogen, which you then exhale. More hydrogen means poor digestion of that sugar.
Okay, so you get these results back, maybe from a blood test or a breath test. What then? Just stop eating those foods.
Well, that's a crucial next step. Getting the results is one thing, but interpreting them correctly is everything. You really, really need to discuss them with a healthcare provider or a registered nutritionist.
Why is that so important?
Because they can put the results in context with your symptoms and your overall diet. For instance, if a test suggests you cut out dairy, you need a plan. A professional helps make sure you get enough calcium and other nutrients from different sources. It's about creating a balanced, tailored plan.
Makes sense. You don't want to swap one problem for another.
Exactly. And it's good to see more local support cropping up. Blood Test UK's materials mention places like Swinton Health Centre and the Wellness Centre Swin offering these kinds of follow-up services.
So it's really about using this information to take back some control, isn't it? Moving away from just popping pills for symptoms.
Absolutely. Understanding your own body like this is incredibly empowering. It lets you manage your health proactively rather than just reacting to discomfort. You have more control over how you feel day to day.
Definitely empowering. Okay, let's wrap up with a final thought. Building on something Blood Test UK touched on, the future of testing. They mentioned new, much faster at-home kits are in development. Imagine a test that could tell you in minutes what food might be causing your issues. So here's something to ponder. If you had access to a super fast test like that right now, what would be the very first food you'd want to check for yourself? Maybe give that some thought. And in the meantime, definitely look into the options available locally to you now. It's all about taking charge of your own health journey.